The ignition system is a critical component of an internal combustion engine, as it is responsible for providing the spark that ignites the fuel and air mixture in the engine's cylinders. Without an ignition system, the engine would not be able to run. The ignition system consists of several key components, including the spark plugs, ignition coil, distributor, and spark plug wires. The spark plugs are located in the cylinders of the engine and are responsible for creating the spark that ignites the fuel and air mixture. The ignition coil is a transformer that converts the low voltage of the car's electrical system into the high voltage needed to create a spark at the spark plugs. It consists of a primary winding and a secondary winding, with the primary winding receiving low voltage from the car's electrical system and the secondary winding creating the high voltage spark. The distributor is a mechanical device that routes the high voltage from the ignition coil to the spark plugs. It consists of a rotor that spins inside a housing and makes contact with a series of contacts or towers as it turns. The rotor is connected to the engine's camshaft, which means that it spins at the same speed as the engine. The spark plug wires, also known as ignition cables, are responsible for carrying the high voltage from the distributor to the spark plugs. They are made of a conductive material and are insulated to prevent the high voltage from shorting out. In a typical ignition system, the spark plugs are connected to the ignition coil by the spark plug wires. The ignition coil is connected to the distributor, which is in turn connected to the spark plugs. When the engine is running, the spark plugs fire in a specific order, determined by the distributor. The ignition system is controlled by the car's computer, which determines the timing of the spark based on a variety of factors, including engine speed, load, and temperature. The computer sends a signal to the ignition coil, which in turn creates the spark at the spark plugs. Overall, the ignition system is a critical component of an internal combustion engine, as it is responsible for providing the spark that ignites the fuel and air mixture in the engine's cylinders. It consists of several key components, including the spark plugs, ignition coil, distributor, and spark plug wires, which work together to create the spark needed to run the engine.